everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. First, I want to say thank you for watching and participating for those of you who were able to make it. And here is just a quick little rundown of the proposed prompts that I wanted to record for all of you to be able to use with your coalitions to help make your meetings effective. If you watched our webinar last month or even caught the one that was recorded for it about being an effective coalition member, we wanted to also take a second to step back and look at how to actually be effective or how to have effective coalition meetings. This question I would like to pose to all of you would be, who facilitates your meetings? It's always good to take a step back and ask yourself, is the person who is facilitating the meeting the best person to be doing that? If it is yourself, do you sometimes feel like you run the meeting? So does that mean maybe you need to hand it off to someone else? So you guys maybe get some more things done, or so you're not the one constantly feeling like you're talking at the meeting instead of having conversations more. So obviously you want to be having conversations at your coalition meetings or committee meetings versus actually just talking at them and telling them kind of what you've done. So that's kind of one big question to ask yourself first, is going to be, who is facilitating your meetings? Next, you want to also ask yourself, why do they facilitate? So if it is yourself, ask yourself why you do it. That might lead to you down a dark path of saying, wow, maybe I shouldn't be facilitating these. Maybe I should find someone else. So always ask yourself that question kind of along with that. Why does the person who facilitate it? Maybe that's because it works that way, and that's okay too. So it might be either, hey, this is kind of bad, maybe someone else should be facilitating my meeting, versus, hey, actually, I facilitate the meeting, or the person who does it because we get stuff done that way. So either way, just always ask yourself that question as well. Next, we have, how do you start your coalition or committee meetings? So knowing how to start a meeting kind of keeps people organized. If you're constantly always all over the place, maybe you're not starting on time. If you don't have a common schedule of, hey, this is how we start our meetings, we're always going to start with, a quick summary of last meeting minutes or something. It gets people used to how your meeting is going to function, and gets people used to sharing, talking, and just being ready for that day and that meeting. So always ask yourself that as well. The next question is, what is something your coalition does well at your meetings? So it's good to acknowledge the things we do well and celebrate the positive. So always ask yourself, what is the one thing we do good? And it might even be worth putting this question out to your coalition members. What is the one thing we do at our meetings that everyone loves, that we are just awesome at? Is it that we are awesome at relaying everything we've done for the past month to each other, maybe in the beginning of the meeting? Is it that we're awesome at signing up and assigning ourselves to tasks that the coalition needs to accomplish? Make sure to acknowledge those things that you guys do well, and celebrate those, because it's good. Also, along with that, what is something your coalition maybe struggles with at your meetings? Is it that you guys tend to not feel on schedule? Do you tend to feel you don't have a clear focus? Do you feel like you're getting nothing done? Sometimes this is a painful question to ask ourselves or our coalition members, because we might not like the answer. But a lot of times it might be one that we need to talk about. Sometimes coalition meetings go really well for a while. Then you guys might get into a rut too, where you just don't feel like you're having those effective meetings and like you're actually accomplishing something when you're there. Because that's another thing with keeping your coalition members coming to meetings, is if your meeting doesn't feel effective, your members might start to fall off. If they feel like, their time is being wasted, this isn't an effective meeting, we're not getting really anything done, you might start to lose members, and no one wants that. So it's good to really make sure you step back and ask yourselves these tough questions of, what do we do really good? But then what do we do that we could maybe work or improve on at our meetings? Next, we have that meetings sometimes we know tend to get off track. It happens to everyone. There's that popular phrase, Elmo, like, let's get refocused, we'll save it for later and come back to it or something. So always ask yourself, what does your coalition do to get refocused? Is there a certain person in the room that calls out, the Elmo phrase and says, hey guys, we need to refocus. We have an hour. We don't want to waste anyone's time. We need to respect each other's time. Let's keep focused in. Is it that you guys do something funny, like maybe put your hand over your eyes if you feel like the conversation has, maybe taken a side road or gotten sidetracked. And then the next person that sees you doing that, everyone starts doing that. And before you know it, everyone has their eyes closed because they know, oh my gosh, we got off track. We need to close our eyes, reset, refocus, and get back to what we need to talk about and need to discuss. So whatever cool ways or techniques you guys have for doing that, sometimes it's good to think about other ways you could do it. Spice it up, change it up. It could be a fun aspect of your meeting that people like. So like, oh my gosh, we're all covering our eyes because we realized we all got off track, or something silly like that. So just make sure to ask yourself that question as well. Next we have, how does your coalition make meetings fun and enjoyable? Kind of where I was going with my last question, but how do you make your meetings fun? I know sometimes we get too serious in our lives and our work and trying to make sure that we get everything done that we need to, everything's planned and everything. We forget to have fun at our meetings. And for some people, that could be something as simple as saying, hey, we're going to have our hour meeting, and then afterwards, we're going to have lunch for everyone, and we're just going to, have fun, play a game or something maybe. Is it that, or is it like that you guys have a running, maybe you start off all your meetings with a joke of the day or joke of the month or something. It's just good to have fun and make sure that people enjoy coming to your meetings, because if not, like I said, that's again how you lead to getting coalition members that kind of just trail off and don't ever come back. And that's not good. We want our coalition members to stay around. We want them to contribute to the work we're doing, because without them, we can't get what we need to done. So always ask yourself that. And it's not bad to take a poll of your coalition members who are coming either every now and then. Be like, hey, do you guys think our meetings are fun? Or hey, what's some small little thing we can throw in to make this a little bit more, fun for you guys, so it's not just, drag of coming here, talking about what we need to do or what we just did and all that kind of stuff. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. Our next question and our last one I have for you guys today is going to be based off your experience with your coalition. Some of you might be new to coalition work. Some of you might be going on, 10 plus years. What keeps your members productive in coming back to meetings? I've kind of been giving you this all today throughout the questions. What keeps your members coming back? It's not bad to take this kind of little census survey of them every now and then and be like, hey, truth be told, what keeps you coming back? Is it the fact that we feed you at every meeting? Because that's fine to say if it is, but it's good for you guys as the staff to know this as well, because that way, the more people coming back, the more effective your meetings are going to be. Is it the fact that they like that they're only an hour long and they can always count on them being just an hour long and then you guys are out of there? Is it the location? Maybe they love the location and that's what makes it good for them, and that's why they keep coming back. Is it the fact that they like maybe how your schedule is for the meeting? Maybe they like who runs the meeting. It's just always good to ask them about their experience, because if not, you might be thinking your meetings are going super well and effective, and next thing you know, the next 2-3 months, you might only have like 5 people at your meetings because everyone was, bored, not having fun, thought it was a waste of time. So it's always kind of good, especially for those new coalition members too. If it's their first coalition meeting, ask them afterwards. Be like, hey, what did you think? Is there anything that you as a new pair of, fresh set of eyes think we could improve on to help make our coalition meetings more effective, right? I'm always a big proponent of, I will never be hurt if you say something bad, because it'll make us better. So always keep that in your mind too. If someone does have some kind of critique that they're giving you, it's because they want to make the coalition better, and that in return makes your communities better. So always don't forget to ask your coalition members, take their opinion seriously and get some feedback from them, because it's going to keep your meetings effective and moving in that right direction that you want. If you have any questions or comments on kind of keeping your meetings effective, or, action-oriented meetings, and any meeting questions for coalitions in general, feel free to shoot us an email. My email is jessica@epiphanycommunityservices.com. Have a great day.